So if you're going through like a dark night of the soul, you have a bunch of stuff that's like really going crazy, things aren't working well with you, you're getting things uprooted, you're experiencing loss, you're grieving, things are changing, like your job just changed, you're getting evicted, big things happening like that. A lot of times these are bringing about our shadows, bringing about something that we're meant to work on in that moment. Not always, but a lot of the times. And so if we can tap in and ask for divine guidance, what are the lessons that I'm meant to learn? What is the situation I'm in? What am I meant to look at and process? That way we can turn around and face those things rather than running and having them over our shoulder. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, then welcome. I wanted to take a moment and just tap in real quick with a little session for us, because I know that a lot of us are just winging it right now. A lot of things have happened. We just came out of that energy from the eclipse portal that we just went through. A lot of things are changing in the cosmos. We had some Mercury and Mars type energy that got messed up, I think, earlier this month. And then there's specific signs that are going through things because they're about to have like another jump up, another up leveling, right? Another download, and then that causes all kind of stuff for us to get crazy. And so, what I was thinking about doing today was just kind of pulling a little bit of shadow work cards, so that I could maybe offer a little bit of assistance, a little bit of direction for people, things that we're going through, because it's much needed right now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maestra Wyzdom. I am a shamanic healer, instructor, and mentor. I'm also Shamanic Reiki Master, as well as an ordained spiritual minister and the founder of the accredited Wyzdom DVine Mystery School. So that is who I am. We're going to tap in, we're going to tune into spirit and find out if we have some messages for us as a collective. If you like what you are hearing today, keep subscribed to the channel so that you will know every time I upload a new video. And if you receive some sort of benefit from this video in particular, you can tap the like button for me, comment, or share this with anyone that you think might get some benefit from it as well. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and pull some shadow cards, and then we'll just see where it goes from there. And then just to let you know, you guys can always book one-on-one sessions for me if you want a more personal reading. You go to my website. As of right now, I'm having a fall session promo that is 30 minutes for $68. You get your personal intuitive messages as well as a healing from me. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and see what the cards are saying that we're working through right now. If you are following me on Instagram, you know that I pull a weekend card reading. I did not do one this past weekend because I was super busy with the finals week, very, very hectic finals week that I was experiencing. So I'm doing one now for everybody. All right, so I'm going to pull 3 shadows that we're working on as a collective right now. And so when you get to learn your shadows, your shadow work, like what you're working on at any given moment, it helps you to fast track whatever you're going through. So if you're going through like a dark night of the soul, you have a bunch of stuff that's like really going crazy, things aren't working well with you, you're getting things uprooted, you're experiencing loss, you're grieving, things are changing, like your job just changed, you're getting evicted, big things happening like that. A lot of times these are bringing about our shadows, bringing about something that we're meant to work on in that moment. Not always, but a lot of the times. And so if we can tap in and ask for divine guidance, what are the lessons that I'm meant to learn? What is the situation I'm in? What am I meant to look at and process? That way we can turn around and face those things rather than running and having them over our shoulder, right? Because they look a lot scarier when we're running from them, we don't know what they are. But when we turn around and we just face them head on, oh, okay, you're not as tall as I thought you were. You're not as big and as scary as I thought you were, right? That monster, it's like, oh, you're not really a monster. You are the jacket hanging up on my door, right? Anybody do that? Scare yourself all night. I do this all the time over like my bed, like when I'm looking over at something, I'll be on my phone, but in my eye can see like over the edge of my bed, and I'll swear something is there, and it's always the chair at the end of my bed. Anyway, so I know I'm not the only one that does this though, so y'all let me know. Anyway, but when you finally find out what it is, right, it's not as scary as you thought it was. So that's what we do when we are looking at our shadows, is we're trying to figure out what is that thing that we thought was so scary, because once we look at it, it's not, and then we can take it apart. We can look at the details, we can figure it out, we can just dive into that work, lean in, and then we can get through it faster. We can end this whole thing that's going on even faster. Okay, so the first shadow that I have us working on is self-advocacy. The second one is perfection. So we got some perfectionism coming up for some of us. And then openness. So we're shutting down, we're not being open to things. So let's talk about it. Okay. Card number 5 is self-advocacy. Okay, so self-advocacy says, become the loudest voice in your head, become your own best friend, and learn your needs, and then allow them to be heard. Okay, so this card is basically saying that, you know, we need to advocate for ourselves. We need to be the one, be our cheerleader, be the one telling others what the needs are. We can't expect them to read our minds. But it also implies that we may not know what our own needs are sometimes. And I know that was the case for me through a lot of my healing. Sometimes I'm reacting to things. I'm just being self-reactive, right? I know something's bothering me. Sometimes I don't even know that. Someone has to point it out to me, right? Someone will be like, what's got you so upset today? Or why do you look so mad? Or what's going on? Why did you respond with that tone? And I'll have to stop and be like, I have a tone? I do? Okay. Thinking back, what happened? Why do I have a tone? And then my mind, first I'll like search my body. I can tell, you know what? They're right. I'm all tense. My stomach's in knots. My brows thick furled, and maybe my face feels hot, or maybe my head is pounding, my heart is pounding. So then I'll go back in time. What happened that is giving me this feeling? And then I'll go back to the moment where I got that feeling, and then I have to process what was the need that wasn't met, or what was the trigger that I experienced that made me now at this moment have these feelings. So sometimes you don't even know what it is that is our needs that we even want. We're so used to giving to others. We're so used to tending to people in our lives and putting them first, that we start to block out the fact that we even have needs. That's how we survive, right? If you experienced a childhood or a relationship at any point in your life where it wasn't safe for you to have needs, if the thought of like, well, I need this, but I'm not getting that, and if I focus on not getting that, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna feel lost. I'm gonna feel isolated. I'm gonna feel all alone. I'm gonna feel like a hopeless case. Then that will cause you to numb yourself, to shut that down, to where you're no longer doing that, right? So now if I just don't have needs, if I just focus on other people's, then I won't have to feel that feeling. I won't have to feel broken. I won't have to feel lost. I won't have to put attention on the fact that my needs aren't being met. And so that is a survival technique that can get you through a specific point in your life, but it's not one that you want to stay in for the rest of your life, because it's not healthy, right? We want to make sure that you're getting to a place where you're not accepting the bare minimum. It's not okay to put yourself on the back burner any longer. So you want to go ahead and start speaking your needs. What's that saying? Closed mouth don't get fed, right? So you want to start speaking your needs so that the world knows and people in your life know how to better love you, how to better treat you, how to better support you. And then that way you can weed out who isn't there for you and who is, right? But you won't even know if you don't give them the chance. In your mind, you're thinking, they're just going to turn me down anyways. They're not going to be able to meet my needs anyways. Or maybe even worse, you're thinking, I want too much. They're not going to be able to meet what I want because I'm too needy, I'm too clingy. I don't want to bother them with that because it's my problem. I need to just learn how to not be so needy. And a lot of times that's not the case. You want the bare minimum, but you just were taught that you weren't supposed to. You're not supposed to even have these feelings. So we want to make sure that we're speaking up for that inner child within us that needs us to speak up for them, right? If you saw someone with special needs, maybe you saw somebody come and get on the bus, maybe that's an elderly woman, maybe it's a person with a special need, a disability, and they're looking for a seat, you might get up and give them your seat. Or you might tell a person that's sitting in the seats designated for people with special needs that they need to get up. That person needs to sit down. It's maybe that person sitting down doesn't have it. Some kind of way you may advocate for that person who needs you to advocate for them. We need you to do that for yourself now. We need you to start looking at, where are my needs not being met and where can I advocate for myself? Sometimes that can be as simple as saying, hey, I know that you invited me to this function that's going to be happening later on this month. Is it too much to ask you, some questions about that? Just want to make sure that I can say yes. Am I able to come at any time? Am I able to leave if I need to? Am I able to bring my own food if you're on special eating habits? Different things that could be for your level of anxiety or your level of comfort that you might need to do in order to go. Speaking those things up and putting your spoons in place for yourself, that could really help. Okay, so right now we're working on a self-advocacy wound. That shadow in us is being triggered right now. So that might come up in your life where you feel like, why is this happening again? Why am I in this same cycle again? And it might be that you need to ask yourself, where did I not speak up? Where did I not ask for my needs to be met? Did they even know that they were not meeting my needs because maybe I didn't even tell them what I needed? All right, and then the next one is perfection. The perfection card is number 41. This is make peace with discomfort, especially when it comes to standards. Nothing in this realm is meant to meet a perfect standard all of the time. Instead of perfectionizing, ask yourself, what has this come to show me? So instead of nitpicking and deciding, like, how is this not perfect? Instead, if you feel those feelings, if you feel like you're triggered into the feelings of noticing and nitpicking at the things that aren't perfect, ask yourself instead, okay, what is this trying to teach me? I wanted it to go like this, but instead it ended up like that. So what is this trying to teach me? Why is this being brought to my attention? Why am I noticing things that to me are making it not perfect? And this is in yourself as well, right? Because a lot of the times we turn our perfectionism on ourselves more than anything. So where is it that you're nitpicking at the details and you're deciding, oh, I can't do that because I can't make it perfect, right? So that was something that I had to tell myself this semester with my, final paper on Asian religion studies. I had to remind myself that I can always go back and expand on the topic that I was writing about and be more specific and get even better information into a topic, into a paper, into even maybe an ebook or something later on. But for now, I just needed to turn in something and get my grade, right? And just turn in something that's good enough. That's a term. I think I'm going to make a video soon on complex PTSD and a really good book on resources that have to do with complex PTSD, because this is sometimes why we're experiencing a lot of this. A lot of us are living with different things that we didn't even realize, and some of us myself included, have complex PTSD. But one of the things that we use to help us to heal from some of the triggers from complex PTSD is to use the term good enough. Sometimes it isn't maybe the best, but it's good enough, so that way it can start to heal your nervous system, right? Because if we're always being so hung up on how it's not just right, then that can start to create too much stress in your body, which then will lead to what? Will lead to illnesses, right? So you don't want to just keep making yourself sick over it. So what do you want to do instead? Is you want to start like letting some things off the hook where you can, right? I know that some things would be dangerous if you didn't like, do it just so or follow certain rules and steps. But where you can in your life, how is it possible? Where is it possible that you can let things be just good enough and feel good about that? Let it go, cut the cords, stop making everybody in your house crazy. I'm another one, Virgo rising. I will go and, fix the silverware the way that I wanted, or put things, in the dish rack the way that I wanted and stuff. And so sometimes those things don't need my attention, right? Sometimes it's good enough. It's good enough. The dishes are going to get dry. It doesn't matter how they get put in the dish rack. You can put them away once they're dry. So that's an area in my life where I could, stop giving, my poor husband grief, and I can let up and be like, it's good enough. It's good enough. Just leave it alone. So where is that in your life? Where is somewhere in your life where things can be good enough? And these cards are also available on my website if you want to work with shadow work oracle deck. They're all, each message, it has been channeled by the divine guides, and then Reiki infused with Reiki energy and intention that the cards provide the highest level of healing to those who whoever owns them. And then the last card we have here is openness. So this is card number 42, and this card says, in order to receive, you must be open to receiving. To have more traveling moments, you must be open to going to new places. The same goes for growth, money, healing, or anything you might ask for. Remain open and blessings will flow. Okay, so we just talked a second ago. So in self-advocacy, we said closed mouth doesn't get fed. Literally, you literally cannot get food in your mouth if it's closed, right? But also, that also means if you don't speak up, you can't receive the things you need. I'm hungry, then you can get fed, right? So that's what that saying means. This one, we have these open hands. So what's that old saying that elders and stuff used to say, right? Like, you can't get anything in a closed fist, right? So again, if your hand is like this, you can't be open to receiving. So this card is literally saying that whatever it is that you're trying to bring more of in your life, you have to be open to that. It sounds really, really simple. It does. It sounds like a duh moment, but it's harder than you think. It's much harder than you think, because people don't realize how they're walking around like this, and then they're just going, I don't have any money. When am I going to have money? Divine, can you please give me some money? I need money. I need to be able to pay my bills. But the divine's like, open up your hands so I can put the money in your hand. And so what kind of ways might this look like? So if you are running around saying that you want more money in your life, but you're also saying, well, it's not in my account yet. It's not there. I don't see it. How am I going to pay our bills? I don't see any way. I don't see how this could possibly happen. While you're saying that, you're speaking life. You're speaking existence and creativity into your life. So you're creating an experience where it cannot happen now, because you're not really open to it. You're saying you want it. You're saying you want more money. You're saying that you're open to the divine giving you more money, but then you're going around shutting it down wherever it may be coming to you. And then the same thing goes for, traveling. Somebody might want to travel, but then they don't even want to leave their house. So how are you going to manifest more traveling opportunities in your life when you don't even want to come out of your house? You don't even want to be around people, right? People are always saying that, all the time, right? People don't like other people. I don't want to be around people. People are so people-y. It's so people-y out there today. Ma'am, if you don't like people, how are you finna go and travel the world and get on a plane and be at the airport and and experience all these things that you're talking about experiencing? If you have a private jet, more power to you. But if you don't yet, You might be taking the, the baby steps route, which a lot of us, let me know in the comments. If you're taking the baby steps route to the higher life that you're manifesting, right? Your big sparkly life and existence that you're trying to manifest. Some of us know, we can see that we're on the baby steps path, right? So you might be experiencing the things that you want in little increments, and you get a little bit more and you get a little bit more. The better you get, the more you work on your shadows, like we're talking about now, the more you start to see expansion happening. So if that's the case, then you may not have a private jet tomorrow. You may have tickets to go to a concert that's a town over or 2 towns over. You may have somebody asking you if you want to get on the train with them. You may have enough money to get on a plane and go visit family or something, right? There's different opportunities that could be coming, but if you're just closed to the idea of being around people, then what you're basically doing is you're telling the universe, I don't really want to travel. Unless you can teleport me there some kind of way. I don't even want that. So you have to figure out what ways are you closing the doors to your opportunities. You're not even being open to these things. If you want better health, you got to be open to what's that going to look like? What is that going to, how am I going to manifest better health? What things am I going to do? What is the exchange? What is the effort? Okay, so effort can be action, like getting up and going to the gym or changing your eating habits. But effort can also be getting rid of old ways of thinking, right? What do they call that? Stinking thinking, things that are no longer serving you, holding on to ideas and limiting beliefs that you have definitely outgrown by now. Those are also efforts, right? Sacrifices that you make. You're willing to let those things go. And then that frees up space, that declutters your mind and your life. And now that space is open and ready to receive whatever it is that the divine has for you. So that is the shadow reading that I wanted to share with you guys for today. Let me know if this was beneficial for any of y'all. If you have questions, please let me know in the comments. I don't mind following up. I love to hear what you guys said, if it resonated with you or not. So we just like to thank our guides, like to thank our higher selves, and like to thank ourselves for being here, for showing up, for wanting to get those better lives for ourselves, for wanting to elevate and become our best potential selves here on this plane. Yeah, and that's it from me for now. So I'll be having some more things coming up for you soon, making lots of changes right now. And some of you guys know I'm on a hiatus from classes, but we will be rejoining classes in January. So that's for shamanic training, if that's what you would like to join. But anything else, let me know. Let me know in the comments what you would like to hear more of or have me talk about. Until then, till next time, Maestra Wyzdom out. A duh moment.